Hi everybody. Today we'll be making sulfur soap, and I use 4% sulfur in my soap. In a portion I use activated charcoal, bentonite clay, tea tree oil, and lemon essential oil, and have found that this bar of soap is really wonderful and helps people with their skin problems. So that's great. I started making this bar of soap when my cousin's son contacted me, and he was having some dermatitis issues and was using a sulfur soap, and I said, well, I can do that. In fact, homemade soaps are much better for you than the manufactured soaps that he was using, so I proceeded to make a soap, and this is the soap that we're going to be making today. I like to make the soap very distinctive looking with all the parts. So I have sulfur is the yellow, the gray is the bentonite clay, and this is the activated charcoal. Each bar of soap is going to be a little bit different. They're 1 inch wide and they're absolutely wonderful. So come along and we'll make some of this soap. Hi everyone. Just want to show you over here, it's starting to cook, and this is the applesauce stage. So that'll cook, and then all of this, which gets hard at first, let's see if I can show you. See, it's pretty hard. It gets harder. Anyway, then it'll turn to applesauce, and then mashed potatoes, and we'll give you a show of what it looks like. And here we are again, just 3 minutes later, and you can see we're moving right along, and it just looks so funny. I just think it looks great. So I just wanted to show you. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, here it is again, just a few minutes later, and this is where we're at. Very interesting, but we'll wait until the rest of this gets cooked. I like to wait until everything gets cooked, and then I don't end up with chunks of white soap in the middle of my design. So I want to wait and have everything cook and get into at least the applesauce stage, and this little white portion here needs to get to this solidification, or this liquid. Not, this is solid more and this is more liquid, so we want this to get more liquid. So we can bring you back when we get to the end of this applesauce stage, and we'll mix it up. Hi everybody. So case in point, a reason not to leave your soap cooking by itself without you being present all the time. This is getting a little high, so I'm going to stir this down just at the top so that it's not going to overflow my container. I had 90 ounces of oils, and then I added my lye. So now you see this is the mashed potato stage, and I expect it to want to volcano, so we'll bring you back as this continues to cook and it seems to want to rise up out of the pot, and we say, no, stay down. So is it completely, it's not completely cooked all the way through, so I'm waiting for that to finish cooking so that big chunk in there can finish getting more liquid, turning into the applesauce stage, and then we have the mashed potato stage, which you see here, but I'll bring you back in a few. Okay, it's been about 30 seconds and it's just about all done, but I need to keep stirring this because it wants to come out of the pot. And I know that I'm going to lose some of my moisture, my water will go away, but that's why I put it at 38%, like the soap calc is the default when I do hot process, because yeah, it's fine by me to allow the water to evaporate, because I have so much in there that it's perfectly fine. And yeah, all that hard soap in there is pretty much all done. So we now have mashed potato stage. Now it's at this stage I turn my heat completely off, from low to off, and I just keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't boil up out of the pot, which they call volcanoing. So, and it really wants to do that today for some reason. So we'll wait and see, and we'll let this cook for a few more minutes, and then we'll do a pH test on it. We'll bring you back. Okay, so I just stirred this up. It's still at mashed potato stage, but it's turning very quickly. We'll get our phenolphthalein solution. Get a piece of paper towel here. And I have a little bit of soap when I just stirred it. We'll put it on here. And this is my phenolphthalein solution that I use. And it just tells us what the pH is by a color. And if we have, let me move this out of the way, have the color pink, it's not quite done yet, as you can see. So it has a ways to go. So we're going to let it sit, but at mashed potato stage, this is what you should see. And we throw this out. This doesn't go anywhere except in the trash. So once this gets to be, goes from the mashed potato stage and it turns more gel, which the heat is not on, but there is enough heat in here that it will finish doing its process, and then we will stir it up, do another pH test, and you can see the heat is still activating the cooking process. So we don't need the heat on, and we'll be back in maybe 3 minutes. Okay, let's see where we're at now. We'll give this a stir. Looks like we're still at mashed potato stage. Just want to make sure that any oils or anything that is separated gets moved back together. And as you can see, it looks quite like mashed potatoes, but it's turning to be very glossy, if you can see in here. It's hard to see on the camera. Anyway, we'll do a pH test right now and see where we're at. It's almost done, but it's not quite done. So, get another piece. Move this away. Another piece of paper towel. Our phenolphthalein solution. And we'll put it on. And you can see it's very faintly pink now. Very faint. So it's just about done. So we're in good shape. In fact, it's usually at this point that I take the soap batter and I'll separate it, because it will finish doing the saponification and finish and be made into soap. So what I have over here that I can show you, let me move this away, is I've got my activated charcoal, I've got my tea tree oil and my lemon essential oil with my kaolin clay in here, which all I do is shake it up and then I have it mixed. So we'll put that in last, because that temperature needs to be all the way down to pretty low. They say 120, but I can't wait till 120. This is my bentonite clay. And the namesake, the sulfur powder, which does not mix with the oil, and I've used some grapeseed oil in here. And we're going to separate our batter into these 3 bowls and mix them up and get the temperature down as far as we can and still be able to manipulate the batter, and then we'll put our lemon and tea tree essential oil with the kaolin clay into each one of these, and then we'll put it in our mold. So we're going to go ahead and start that, and I will get a large spoon. Like that. I'm going to get 3 large spoons, so just in case. Okay, so we'll start by putting a big spoonful in each one of these, and by moving it off the heat into these bowls, it's going to cool it down. And then when we stir it, it will cool it down even more. So the amount of bentonite clay and sulfur and activated charcoal I used was a rounded tablespoon in each bucket. And when I figured the amount of oils to the weight of a rounded tablespoon of sulfur, it turned out to be a 4%. 4% of sulfur in this soap. And when you go online or you see soaps for sale, commercial soaps, sulfur soaps, they're usually at 10% and they're in the entire bar. And I've designed this bar so that it's less. You still get the exfoliation and the properties of the sulfur, yet it's not at that high 10% level. So it's a little more, if you will, mild, in my opinion. And that's what I like. So that's what I made. Now there's just a titch left. Not much. That's it. That's all there is. And now we'll mix these 3 up. And we'll move this container off. And we'll start with, let's start with the sulfur. It's pretty neat looking. And it doesn't smell so much, a little bit, but not so bad. And in the soap, it doesn't smell so much. And as I'm stirring this, I'm scraping the bottom, because that's where all this is. So we want to make sure that it's thoroughly mixed. In this portion of the soap. Isn't that a beautiful yellow? I think it's lovely. Okay, this is slightly different than the previous sulfur soap I did. I actually had 4 bowls and I had a kaolin clay. And I decided I wasn't going to do that, that I was just going to do these 3. And we'll see how it looks and see how it is. It's going to be beautiful and wonderful. Because I will have kaolin clay in with the fragrance in any case. So let's see. My temperature, you want to see what the temperature's at as I'm stirring this. We're at 145 about. So by the time I finish stirring, you know, if we need to get it a little more fluid, we could always add a little tiny bit of sodium lactate, which may be a good idea. We'll see. And now the charcoal. What do you want to add in here? And I don't want to spatter it. And this amount of charcoal, activated charcoal, which is the coconut shell activated charcoal, will suds up gray. So you will see a little bit of gray when you, but it also does a great detox. So that looks really good. So those are all stirred up. So now let's see, what is our temperature? We just got to wait for our temperature. And of course these thermometers only do the top of the soap, so we want to see, these are getting down to 135, 138. I think we're going to be alright. We just need to give them a stir so that we can get that temperature down, because that's the critical thing. We've gotten everything off the heat. Now there's one of those little white thingies I was talking about. See that? This is a piece of soap that won't accept the sulfur or any color, and this is what I try to avoid happening. So we have a little bit of that going on. It's soap and it's the same thing, it just, you know, it alters your design a little bit. And if we had it in our charcoal, that would show up more, but we don't. And it looks like it was only that one piece, so that's good. Alright, so I'm going to get these cooled down and I will bring you back. Okay everybody, we're down in temperature now. So we want to put in our fragrance and get these in the mold. So here's our mold over here. And here's our tea tree and lemon essential oil with kaolin clay. And we'll get these in and stir them up. Now I'm going to put in about a third and stir it, and then I'm going to pour it in the other. So, and of course tea tree is not my favorite smell, but I tell you, I love it on my skin. I love it. I don't like the smell of it so much. Not my favorite. But it is absolutely wonderful on your skin, and the lemon just gives it that extra oomph in this bar of soap. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll put that one aside. Let's get our sulfur done. I'm going to stir this a little bit more again, or even shake it before we put it in here. We want to put another third in here. Put the lid back on this. And we'll mix this in. You can see this is, you know, for hot process, this is pretty fluid. I did not put sodium lactate in. I did put a little bit of sugar, organic sugar, in the lye water and dissolved it before I put the lye in, so we'd have lots of good bubbles. And I think we're good with that. Okay, now let's get the rest of this. I'll have to scrape it out. I need another spatula to scrape this out. Just a second. Okay. And we'll scrape this all out. So the essential oils are about at 4%. I didn't do 5% on these. I usually do 4% on my fragrances and essential oils. And white soap. the white soap in our charcoal. Okay, well, it looks like it's going to start getting thickening up on us, so we'll want to get this in our mold pronto. It's still very hot. It's hot on my finger. Okay. And we'll have a spoon for that one. And we'll get this one out. That one out. And another spoon. I need another spoon. And I'll get this one out. Ooh, that's hot, hot, hot. Okay, so what I do with these, let's see, can you see? Yeah. Is I take bits of the soap like this. And we just put in portions. And we'll do some charcoal here. And we'll do some more bentonite. And put some more charcoal there. Put some sulfur in there. So I'm not going to do a swirl with this. This is going to end up how it's going to look once we get it in here. So get some charcoal in here and here. Bang this down. So let's see, we'll put some sulfur here, and bentonite here, and here, and charcoal here, and again the bentonite here, and here, and let me bang it down again. Okay, a lot of banging, sorry. And my strap from my apron came undone. And there we go. Okay, so let's put some sulfur over here. And over here. And the bentonite here. There. Charcoal. Charcoal. Charcoal, charcoal. We like lots of charcoal. Oops, get in there. Not on my fingers. Okay, we still have lots of the sulfur. Get that in there and that in there. Bentonite. Bentonite. Let me bang this down again. Okay. Alright, so looks like I just have a little bit of charcoal left. I probably put too much in there. Let's scoop some off and put some in here. Like that. Scrape out our bowls as best we can. And our spoon. There, that should do it. So now we have charcoal in the 3 places here, and put some sulfur in here, and here, scrape it up, there. There we go. And much left of this bentonite. Not much. So that's it. Let me bang this down again, see where we're at. And it looks like I have a little more in here than I do over there, so let's scoop some of that out and some of that out. And we'll bang it down again. Now, as far as the design on the top, I'm just going to let it be what it is. And I'm going to just make sure it's flattened as best I can. And it's going to all the edges. And that's going to be it, y'all. Sulfur soap. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love all my subscribers. I appreciate you so much. This is why I do what I do, as well as helping people with their skin. It's just a delight. And I appreciate all of you for watching. Thank you so much, and we'll be back to the cut. Hi everybody, we're back to cut the sulfur soap. And we're ready, so we'll just go right ahead and give it a cut. It's been a few days, so it's a little bit harder. There we go. Not much off the edges, no problem. Okay, let's show these soaps off. Okay, end piece. Here's my sulfur soap. I like to show sulfur, activated charcoal, sulfur, bentonite clay, sulfur, activated charcoal, sulfur, and the bentonite clay. So I'm using 3 separate configurations. So we have a nice look to these bars. I like being able to see all the parts without swirling them. So that's what we have. I've made my oils a little bit more, so these are a little higher, so these are a little bit bigger. Bigger is better. Here's one of those white pieces I talked about. Yes, no color in those. Very nice sulfur soap. Does have a little bit of smell, and the sulfur is about 4% of the bar. See, those are those white pieces I talk about. Here we are. Very nice. Now I'll show you all the pieces, even though they're going to be a little the same. But you can see we just put all these parts in there, and you get a little bit of everything in the bar. So lovely. These are 1-inch bars with my Essential Depot cutter here. Another end piece. Now let's cut another. Clean off these. Now we have 4 lobes that we're going to cut today. Move a little closer. You can see. And I waited like 3 days to cut these, so these are getting harder. And this is like so little piece of waste. Of course, they won't go to waste. We use all the little pieces. So let's show you the pieces. Bar 1, very nice. Nice, deep, rich, dark black. I love it. Another of those white pieces. Driving me crazy. I probably stirred it too soon. That's what I think. If I turn my soap if I stir my soap too soon and that middle part doesn't get cooked, I get these white pieces, which don't accept any color or scent. They just get hard and stay in the soap, and they're still soap and they're still good. There's nothing wrong with it, but they kind of show off and ruin your design. So that's my sulfur soap. I love this soap. This is a great soap for your skin. Has tea tree and lemon essential oil in it. Really good for your skin. And a lot of people agree. So that's wonderful. I love to help people. So that's why I made this originally, because my cousin's son, who lives in California, hi Adrian, he was using a sulfur soap and asked me if I made it, and at the time I didn't. I said, well, I can make one. It's probably better than the one that you have, because handcrafted soaps are always better for your skin than those that are manufactured. So we'll give this a good push down. There we go. I'll show you all these. Very plain. It's got a little bit of charcoal in there. Wonderful bar of soap, great for your skin. It has high amounts of shea butter in it, no olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil. A really great combination, I think. And a recipe for soap. And the sulfur is exfoliating. It's 99.5% pure sulfur. It comes in a granular powder, which is delightful. And I'll show you all the bars, because when I'm watching a video, I want to see all the bars, end piece. So I'm going to show you all the bars. Clean these off. Get those little bits. And the last loaf to cut. Line it up. And see if we're lined up good. Looks good. Boy, it's getting hard. There we go. And first bar, very nice. I can smell that lemon and the tea tree. So in the previous sulfur, I had a white portion that I put a kaolin clay in, and I've eliminated that in this bar. I didn't think it was necessary. There's still kaolin clay in it because that's what I mix all my scent with. But I didn't think we needed a white portion. This has a lot of the sulfur showing, and then on this side charcoal, so really nice. Fun to look at, you know, fun. We could swirl it, but I like this look. Do you like this look? Tell me in the comments below. I like it. I think it's great. I had a lady from Turkey talk to me about making the sulfur soap, and she was making it and she put the sulfur in while it was still in the crock pot. And I said, well, I think what you should do is take it out of the crock pot and when the temperature is lower, and do it that way. And she did some things that I suggested, and she had some great success, and I was so happy to be able to help her. So, how do you like this sulfur soap, y'all? Thanks for watching. You have a great day. God bless. See you next video. Bye.